We're Bison! We are impacted! We're Bison! We're ready to get up! We want to win! Light the fire of power and make us free! We never break down! We want to win! We are impacted! The best team!
Hello and welcome to episode 62 of Impacted, coming to you live via the Total Nonstop Impact Network on YouTube and Twitch. I'm your host Bison, and today I am joined by the one and only Elfie Joe-ker, and of course Rudolph Simply Steve. Hello guys, how are we doing?
Very good, thank you. How are you?
Really well, mate. Really well, and I'm very excited to get stuck into today's show. I've got proper Christmassy today. I don't know why. I just really got into the spirit of things today, and Steve, by the looks of it, as well, with some sort of kind of tinsel bandana going on over there. How's it going, Steve? You're right. Oh, and a Rudolph jumper as well. Now we're talking.
Yeah, keeping it festive.
Talking. Definitely keeping it festive, that's for sure. It's so we're only days away now from the big day. Days away. Over here in the UK, we've been getting all sorts of worries on, are we going to end up being in lockdown? Are we going to get some more restrictions? I don't know, and frankly I don't care, because you know what, I'm going to enjoy this Christmas with my kids as much as I possibly can. I'll tell you that now. So how about yourself? Are you looking forward to Christmas, Joe? Have you wrapped up Sammy's presents?
Oh yeah, Sammy got his present yesterday. Oh god, he was not impressed.
Oh, really? What was his present? What was his present then? Was it a finger up the ass or something?
Oh no, it was jumper.
Oh, he got a jumper and he didn't like it.
No, tried to tear it off because he saw a bit of holly on the back, and
he wasn't impressed. He wasn't impressed. What about you, Steve? You've been handing out anything or what? What's going on?
Yeah, I've been handing out a few. Obviously, still wrapped up, so no one has opened them yet. But yeah, got all mine done, dusted pretty early this year.
Oh man, that's the way to go, isn't it? Get it all done and dusted, mate. Get it all done and dusted. I'm lucky because I've got obviously Mrs. Bison to help out when it comes to wrapping presents and stuff like that. I generally only really do hers, so I'm quite lucky there. I don't get involved in the present wrapping as much as probably maybe I should. Bad Bison. Maybe I should get a bit more involved in that side of things. But I know that she is extremely ready. She's got everything done and dusted. We've even got some of the veg in, ready for that fantastic Christmas dinner. So Christmas dinner is going to be fantastic. Looking forward to that. And the turkey's ready. Got to get that out at some point. But yeah, it's all looking good, brother. It's all looking good. So it's going to be great. It's going to be. Now, I did want to mention, look at Ted. Ted's all festive.
yeah. Oh, I've got my little helper.
Yeah. We've also got a bit festive up there with Josh. Josh Alexander's got a bit festive as well. And my beautiful Boomer Bison made me this today. Yeah, look at that. Hey, how cool is that? A little snowman.
Oh yeah,
she made that today.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, she made that today at club. So she's pretty done well there. So I said I promised her I would put it up in the cave. So so it's all good.
Just an extra present for Christmas now. You have to get her something extra.
Exactly. And I'll tell you what though, old Poppy, my cat, she's excited. She's got some lovely treats as well for Christmas. As Floki Bison, he's got lots of lovely treats as well. So yes, there's lots of lovely Christmassy treats going on. How about in the chat? Let's have a look at who we got joining us today. Obviously, Mir's with us. He's with us every week. Old Mir, isn't he? Great fun.
Violet, Keith.
Yeah,
Terrence,
it looks like. Yeah. Oh, Bill's with us. Bill's actually in the chat. Nice to see you, buddy. So we got Keith. Who else we got in there? We got, like I say, Zach, Mir. Terrence is with us. Terrence Sullivan. Nice to see you, buddy. Anna Rewell. Violet's here as well. So that's really good. I wasn't sure you were going to make it this week, Violet, or is it Courtney? I know one of you's not going to make it today.
Courtney's not here this week. She's working
bless
this
her.
week.
Oh, she's going to be gutted about that, but it's great to see you, Violet. And thanks for a lot of the positive vibes you've had from you recently as well. So that's really nice. But yeah, so it's great to see a few people turning up in the chat. I'm sure as the show progresses, we will get a few more. We'll get a few more now. So with that said, let's get into some of these TNI-UK, top 10 moments of 2021. Now, interestingly enough, most of the moments obviously revolve around Impact Wrestling. However, my first thing that I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to get everyone's thoughts on this as well, is, at the end of the day, we are a show, we get our guests in and everything else. And for us, some of the highlights are quite often just getting some great guests on the show. Now, this year, we've had Jake Chris turn up a couple of times. We've had Alexia Nicole. We've had Jade Chung. We've had recently signed Impact Knockout Lady Frost. How cool is that? We've had some UK-based talents as well, like Alex Windsor, Charles Crowley, Gary Ward came on, the owner of Wrestle Carnival. We've had Powerhouse Blake. He was a great guest. We've had Lion Kid, who is Boomer Bison's favourite. We've had the legend, the British legend, Jody Fleisch. That was pretty cool to have Jody on the show. He was a lovely fella. And of course, only a couple of weeks ago, we had Elijah on the show as well. So for me, that's a massive highlight for 2021. What were your thoughts on this, guys?
I'll let Steve start.
Yeah, like you say, it's a big highlight because, like, take someone like Lady Frost. We had her when she was still doing the independent scene. We had a great talk with her. She highlighted a lot of her skills and came across, like, on the personal level as well, really well. And we got a good sort of level of talk with her. And then to see her grow into Impact Wrestling, it shows, like, some of the other independent talents that we could be sort of talking to from the UK scene, like the Charles Crowley, like the Powerhouse Blake. The next level for them, what could that be? So it's great sort of talking to a lot of these talents, and who knows what the next step that we could maybe be pushing them to. I'm not saying that
is exactly. I'm
but yeah, it's great. It's great seeing the before and what could be happening next. More exposure.
Yeah, no, I think it's fantastic, and I'm absolutely over the moon. The fact that we reach out to some of these guys, they want to come on the show, and it's great for us because we get to talk to these guys sometimes before they necessarily get signed to a big deal, and then all of a sudden they're not available anymore.
Yes.
And it becomes a little bit harder to get these guys on the show. But at the end of the day, it's good for us. We get to know these guys. Not only did we have Lady Frost, but we also had her husband, the incredible Savage Gent turn up on the review show several weeks ago. That was pretty cool as well. So fingers crossed that Impact do the same with him. Let's get Savage Gent onto the Impact roster. I think that would be fantastic as well. And Violet, yes. If you're interested in it, if there's a certain soundbite you want to hear and you want to sort us out with a sticker, off you go, lovely. Off you go, and we'll sort something out for you. I'm sure. I'm sure we're gonna have lots of fun with those today. I'm not sure whether Steve managed to get any off throwback throwdown. Did you manage that?
I tried, but I was having trouble with it. So this week, yeah, I kept trying, but yeah.
Oh, there were some classics.
There's a couple I've noted down that are in my locker that I will get, but yeah, I was having trouble with it this week.
Somebody grab the phone.
We need to, yeah, we need to get some of those on there. Some of them were absolutely super.
Although even if I don't get hold of it, there's a couple of lines that going forward I'm going to use.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just some. I thought there was just some incredibly funny stuff going on. Really, really was. What's that, Zach? What are you talking? Going to be over here on the dark side of the to balance the viewers. Not sure what he's talking about, but hey, why not? Why not stay over there, balance some of those viewers? I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Now, the thing is. Sorry about that. I was literally just getting a phone call come through, and I thought I'd better cancel that because I don't want to. Not in the middle of the show. We don't want that going on, do we? In the middle of the show, I mean, that's terrible.
Oh no.
Who knows? Who could it? Could, I don't know. It could be potential spam. Just someone trying to sell me something. Probably that's more likely. What's going on, mate? What's going on?
I think we've got someone on the incoming here.
We've not got a special guest. You're joking. Oh my God! It's the legendary Jake Christ joining us today. Where are you, Jake?
Hey, what's happening, boys?
Man, how amazing. I can't believe you're joining us today. What a surprise. Ho, 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 baby. Ho, ho, ho. How's your head, Jake? How's your head?
I'm all right, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Are you out and about collecting Christmas trees or something? What's going on?
Oh, collecting gifts, trying to skate in between.
Fair play, fair play.
In between sessions, I figured I'd pop in and see what you guys are up to. You guys having a good holiday?
Oh, mate, we're having a fantastic holiday. I think at the moment we're really excited to see you. Listen, the big thing is we need to know what it's like having Christmas in the Christmas household. What is it like?
I'm sure it's like anywhere else.
Oh,
sorry, Jake. You went silent on us there. Go on, say that again, mate.
I said I'm sure it's just like anyone else's house. I just have a very hot wife.
Fair enough.
That's the only difference.
Indeed.
I mean, I'm sure other people, but to each their own.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I bet your children are going to be
out here, huh?
It is loud. I bet your children are going to get some great presents this year.
What's that?
Obviously, I said I bet your kids are going to get some great presents this year. Obviously, don't tell us what that's going to be because obviously,
That's the plan. That's the big thing about Christmas is you can't let them down.
Exactly. You can't.
The feeling of failure in Christmas is it's not too good. So I try to go extra hard in the paint, if you know what I mean, to make sure my kids have a great Christmas and my wife.
Fair enough. I'll tell you what I do need to know. Jake. How is your head after, that incredible hardcore match that you had only, about a month or so ago at Wrestling Revolver? We're talking some serious crimson.
I always knew Alice Colon was a crazy, tough son of a bitch. But I felt it at Revolver, that's for sure. Iowa, my blood was spilled. But, it's all right. I bleed well, as they say.
Oh,
the juices are flowing.
The juices are flowing. I love it. The weather looks fantastic there.
Flowing. Especially if me and Alex Colon get in the ring together. That doesn't really sound too good, does it? I'm talking about blood.
I know you're talking about blood.
Either.
That crucifix or kind of the cross of what they call it, the light stick things. I don't know what you call them.
Oh, the tubes.
Tubes. Yeah, that was insane, brother. That was insane.
I was thinking of it as an X, but I'll go with the crucifix too.
Yeah. Oh, it was almost like you were being slammed with an ultimate
I guess
X.
It's just the way you look at it, right? I see a cross, you see a, or I see an X, you see a cross. I mean, it's probably fun, right?
Man, all I know is it exploded big time.
Yeah, that
It was
didn't feel
amazing.
too good.
I bet it didn't.
When I kicked out, I said, "Why am I doing this?"
I tell you what, Jake, your beard's looking good. We're joining in on the beard crew.
I was about to shave it. I'm thinking about trying to see if I can let it grow all white trash like this.
You reckon?
See what it can go to.
Man, I like it
I don't
though.
know. We
I
see.
love it. You look great with a beard. You look great with a beard, man. You
Nevaeh,
suit it.
she doesn't think so, but it's probably.
Oh,
fine.
really?
It's all
Where
about
is
what the dudes think?
Where is the
I think
beautiful
it's
Nevaeh
awesome.
today?
She's at home.
Getting chilled, getting ready for Christmas, putting the decks up.
Yeah, I'm while I'm out here just skating my heart away.
Okay, fair enough. Well,
Yeah,
Jake, you know what, mate? I want to
yeah,
thank you for all. I just want to thank you for coming on the show so many times this year, supporting the TNI crew, especially us UK team. It's been absolutely fantastic, and we really appreciate the full support that you give us. We really do. Thank you for that, brother.
Hey,
Merry
I
Christmas to you.
Hey, right back to you, man. I appreciate the support and love that you show me. So why not jump on your show and show you support and love? You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's all about. It's all about caring and sharing is the mottos that I like to live by. Caring and sharing.
Exactly.
It's all about the love. Merry Christmas to you guys. I'm sorry. I know it's really noisy here, so I apologize for that. But again, I'm in the middle of a skate session, trying to get some skating in before it gets too cold. I mean, it's 30 degrees, but it's probably fine. But all right, guys, I'm gonna jump off here. You guys have fun.
Okay,
Take
buddy.
care.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, guys.
Can you wish Nevaeh a Merry Christmas for us as well? We really appreciate you. Take care, buddy.
I will. You too, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry for ruining your show.
No, that's good.
Oh, you didn't do that, mate. You didn't do that. Thank you
All
so
right.
much, buddy.
Peace out.
Take care. Wow, there you go. Nobody was expecting that, were they? Well, maybe.
No.
Nobody else was expecting that, were they?
We just had Jake Christ. I mean, imagine if we had Shark Boy pop up.
Oh, if only.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
incredible. So it's always good to see Jake Christ. And
Oh, look at that shark bone.
Oh, Shell, yeah. Oh,
See?
Shark Bone here. Gonna tell you, I'm gonna jump on a podcast, dip out, jump on a podcast, dip out. What? Oh, Shark Bone, just jumping in here real quick to wish y'all Merry Christmas, happy Sharkna, whatever you celebrate, and go tip back a few cold ones and be safe. Please, everybody, be safe. The waters are horrible out there, if you know what I mean. Much love, everyone. Take care, and we'll see y'all next week. Oh, can I get a shell? Yeah.
Shell, yeah.
Woo! Yeah, Bone. How about that? Star-studded edition tonight. Star-studded edition. Yeah, we get Jake
baby.
Christ. We now just Shark Bone is in the house, everybody. Shark Bone. How amazing was that? Hey, everyone give me a shell, yeah. Because that's the fishing line. Because Shark Bone said so. There you go. How about that? Eh? How about that, guys? Star-studded tonight. Star-studded. So, wow. So we were talking about all the fantastic guests that we have. Though we've got to add another, another great surprise there from Jake turning up and showing us some love. And then we get Sharkbone. I mean, what more can you ask? Eh? What more can you ask? Sharkbone added to the list. Fantastic talents that we've had turn up on TNI-UK this year.
We're only 20 minutes in.
20 minutes in, and it's all happening here. It's all happening here on TNI-UK, guys. Good Lord. Whew. Now,
it's been a bangorama.
let's talk about a moment. Let's talk about a moment. I'm totally losing all track and just it's all disappearing on me now. Oh, I just got to sort out my hat a little bit there. That's it. Oh God, this has gone totally off the rails already. But anyway,
I told you there'd be no plan.
Oh, insane. Let's talk about the rise and the X Division run of Josh Alexander. Now, funny enough, including a fantastic match by none other than our first guest tonight, Jake Christ, as a one-off. How cool was that? See, Josh's run was absolutely superb. What are your thoughts, Joe? Because I know you're a big fan of this.
He is the man. He is the man that has redefined what it means to be an X Division star. He's wiped the whole previous template of it needs to be a skinny guy who can do a lot of high flying moves or anything like that, and made it into his own. And it was absolutely incredible. His run as champion was probably one of the best moves Impact Wrestling has done since I've started watching, and definitely one of the best moves Scott D'Amore has done since taking over, was to give Josh Alexander the X Division title over the world title.
I agree 100%. What was your favorite match of the year with regards to Josh's, let's say, run as X Division champion though? What was your favorite match? Because I have to say mine was the Iron Man match with TJP. But what about yourself?
Yeah, the Iron Man match is definitely my favorite, and the other one that really does stand out is the one he had with Jake Christ and one he's had against Black Taurus. Those matches where he's taking guys who've been on Impact or are underrepresented on Impact Wrestling, and really brought the best out of anyone he's taken on. But no, Black Taurus, he was going for a massive slump, and then he goes a match against Josh Alexander, and my God, he set the house on fire. You know, that's just kudos to Josh Alexander and how well he works with everybody. So I love it. The Iron Man match, obviously, it was my vote for match of the year, and it's definitely my favorite.
Well, it looks like Mir's just popped it in there saying his was Josh Alexander versus Chris Sabin. And that, again, there were so many amazing matches. What about you, Steve? What are your thoughts on Josh's run as X Division champ initially?
Initially I had no issue with him going into the X Division, because I thought, he had the ability to be the X Division champion. And I know many people don't like him, but I compare his run to Austin Aries, where Austin Aries, back when he held his first X Division title run, was by far the strongest competitor in TNA at that point, and really brought the X Division to a forefront. And Josh has done the exact same thing with the X Division title in this run, and has really made the X Division title feel important again. And yeah, I agree. I think that the X Division title, the 30-minute Iron Man match, was probably the best match the main match, the best match he's had. And not only that, but I think it had the most significance in booking. I mean, it's by far the most interesting BTI has been.
Yeah. I mean, I like the way that they sort of kind of like started it on BTI and then sort of ended it, on the show. I thought that was a really good thing to do. It made people tune into BTI. They didn't want to miss it. I thought it was really, really good, definitely. And then of course, this then leads into Josh giving up the X Division title to go for the world title. And he does win it, but, and we won't talk about Moose yet, we'll talk about him a bit later, but then obviously he loses it quite quickly on the same night that he wins it. But what a great match it was with Christian. Christian coming back to the company, taking on the world title belt, beating obviously Kenny Omega over on Dynamite, I believe it was. No, I don't think it was actually, was it? It was on the other one. The Friday night show. Forgot what that was called. Do you remember that, Steve?
Rampage,
that's right. So it was over on Rampage, I believe. Am I right? But anyway, so either way, he won. And it was, although people wanted to see that belt dropped on Impact Wrestling as opposed to on AEW. You know, a lot of people were watching that match. A lot of people were like, wow, you know, this is pretty awesome. A lot of people got to see the Impact belt on AEW TV. You know, and that you can't underestimate the importance of stuff like that. It is important to the brand that these sort of things happen. But Christian, he had several really good matches. It was great to see that, really was. And of course, you know, Josh is now heading into Hard to Kill in 2022 against, you know, the top dog himself, Jonah.
I used to have a last name, but now a billionaire keeps it in a safe.
Exactly. We're going to start putting out some sound bites, guys. So if you are interested in banging up a super sticker and you want to choose a sound bite, if we still got it there, then we'll be happy to bring that one up. We'll put that one out there for you. So you crack on. You know, I know Violet's already mentioned that. So if you want to put a super sticker up for the boys, we'll see what we can sort out for you. So I think it's been an amazing run, Josh Alexander, in 2021. He's gone from, you know, sort of like you say, he's gone from a tag team champion with the North, X Division champion. He's a world champion for a cup of coffee. But that still makes him a triple crown, right?
Triple crown in 1 year.
There you go. You know, pretty amazing. And of course, a lot of people, you know, weren't sure whether he was going to renew. I believe he certainly has, from what I've heard. He's definitely re-signed with the company, but it's been done. You know, one thing I like about the way Impact do this is they do it very quietly. They just go about their business. They do what they need to do, you know, and job done. You know, you only need to look at, you know, W. Morrissey. You know, I know that, you know, I did an interview with him back in September time when we were heading into BFG, and he was talking all about, you know, he wants to stay with Impact. You know, his contract was coming to an end with Impact at the end of October. Well, it's now December. We're going into Hard to Kill in January 22, and he's in the main event.
People read too much into contact information.
I think you might be right. Definitely. So, I mean, what are your thoughts? Joe, on kind of like the overall kind of, you know, the growth of Josh over the past 12 months?
It's been incredible. We knew he was a good wrestler, but the way his charisma since losing the tag team titles last year to the Good Brothers, his charisma was shot through the roof. Since Ethan Page started to devolve away from the North, things are starting to get better there. And then, but as soon as Ethan Page had gone, they just like shoved a jetpack around Josh Alexander and shot him to the moon and back. And he's absolutely one of the best talkers in the roster now. And he's just such a great in-ring worker. He's one of these guys who didn't need to cut a good promo to make a good match. And now he's the full package tenfold.
I agree. What about you, Stevie? I mean, you know, I know that obviously we were talking about the X Division stuff, but what about his overall growth, you know, from the start of 21 till now?
Yeah, well, I think that's why they put him to a degree in the X Division, isn't it? Just to sort of, should we say, test the waters, to sort of see how, if they felt he was ready for that main event level. And obviously the fantastic run he did with the X Division title, and you know, he basically carried the X Division on his back, or the company on his back to a degree, when Omega had the world title, and they were like, okay, he's doing a fantastic job. This guy is main event level company. You know, we can put the company on his back. So that was that they were testing the waters to a degree with him with the X Division, and you get the feeling that is what the X Division should, to a degree. That's what it used to be used for, to elevate level talent.
Yeah,
we haven't seen that too much.
It's kind of like it's kind of like the Intercontinental title belt on the E, isn't it? You know, it's you know, you've got to go through the X Division to get to that world title, really. You know, and that's the interesting part about that. I think it works. Yes. So I'm excited. I'm really excited on where Josh is going to go in 2022. I certainly believe by the end of the year he'll be back with a world title around his waist.
Good job, Scott.
Good job.
100% good job, Scott, for what you've done there. Definitely 100%. Now, number 3 on my sort of kind of like, top moments for the year for me for Impact, it's got to be returning to live audiences, and of course, most recently returning to Sam's Town. I think the return to Sam's Town, I think that's been a fantastic success so far. I'm really looking forward to checking out the factory in Dallas, Texas, which is next. And I believe after that, we're going to be looking to head towards Fort Lauderdale in Florida, which is pretty awesome. So we're starting to build again. We're starting to create more and more. So I think it's really, really cool the way things are going. I'm really excited that we have returned back to decent sized live audiences. And I can see that over 2022, that we're going to start getting into bigger and bigger venues. And I'm pretty sure that by the time we get to BFG, we're going to be in a 5K venue for that. Even if it turns up back at Chicago, possibly where it was before, that would be really cool. What about you, Steve? What are your thoughts on the return into live audiences?
Oh yeah, the return into live audiences. I mean, originally when crowds came back, in the first place, you could definitely see that lifted a lot of wrestlers. I mean, I myself had said it from a couple of wrestlers. I was like, I'm not connecting with these wrestlers. And then as soon as the crowds came back, that lease of life was into them. And I was like, that extra step is back into them. And then we said it ourselves, watching Turning Point, that was done live. And that it was just, there was so much more put into it, because there was no spoilers. You had the extra bit of like, what's going to happen, rather than it being taped. And like you say, that they're now moving into extra larger venues. And we've also said about how they're spreading their range now into more countries. So who knows that, they might be spreading out further afield now as well in future.
Yeah, exactly, and the main thing is we've got to get the promotion up, haven't we? We've got to improve that marketing. I think they're not too bad when it comes to social media. I mean, they could be better. They've got to use their Instagram a bit better, I think, but they're certainly improving in that sort of neck of the that area of marketing. But we need to start getting these billboards up. This week they did that whole take a photograph of yourself in front of the billboard at the arena. And you get some free tickets to the tapings. That's fantastic. That's the sort of stuff, bravo. That's what we need to be doing. They start doing stuff like that. We've had the recent media tour of Moose and Mickey James in Texas. That was pretty cool as well. So we need to do more things like that. Let's get people knowing that Impact Wrestling is coming to town. Impact's coming to town. Impact's coming to I think you get the gist. So
you could get Matthew Raywalk to record a song or something.
Yeah, there you go. That would be pretty awesome. So there's lots of things that could be done, that's for sure. But I think the main thing is that we're getting back to a live audience, that we're getting some serious appreciation and love from them. And I think it can only go up from here. I'm sure that we'll be back at Sam's Town at some point in 2022. It's a really good venue. And the crowd there are, they're digging Impact Wrestling, and that's one thing that we love, isn't it? At the end of the day, we love the product.
For reals.
And it's great for the fans to get to see it live as well, and like say in a reasonable venue, because it makes a difference, don't it?
Yep.
And you're right, Keith. At times, you're right. I think they do need to do better in the marketing. They do need to push more. It's great to start seeing that they're getting sponsors now.
Marketing is always a weakness that they've had, even going back to the early days, though.
Yeah, I mean, even when you look at Throwback Throwdown this past weekend, how they marketed that with the beer and everything, I mean, that was fantastic. Like that show was pretty much written around the sponsor. Do you know what I mean? It really was. It was fantastically well written. And I really enjoyed it. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, so it's great to see the live audiences back and the interaction and the love that we're getting from the audience. So I'm really happy with that. So number 4, we've got the Kenny Omega and the AEW Forbidden Door, including New Japan Pro Wrestling, and of course now NWA as well. Now we've got we've seen the likes, obviously, not just Kenny Omega, but Christian Cage, Christopher Daniels, Matt Hardy. We saw Private Party near the beginning of that as well, obviously with Matt, as well as the likes of Thunder Rosa, Mickey James, Jay White, El Phantasmo, and of course the Bullet Club arriving on Impact Wrestling, and adding Chris Bay into the club as well. So, what are your thoughts, Joe, on the whole kind of Kenny Omega, Forbidden Door, the whole collaborations with New Japan and NWA, and all the things, all the shenanigans that are going on at the moment? What are your thoughts on all of that?
It was a really, really bold move, and it really helped propel Rich Swann and Moose up to where they are now, especially Moose, more of a Rich Swann. The use of Kenny Omega to get the title where we did was a great long thought out storyline they had planned. I'm pretty sure this could have gone through to Bound for Glory if Omega wasn't too banged up after his anniversary. But the way in general to get all the other talent that Matt Hardy, everyone thought he was done with Impact Wrestling and that we wouldn't see him again, and to see all that what's past is past and it's all water under the bridge and him come over. But like that, it was just so invigorating to see, so nice to see, and then it led to all the speculation we had. Could we see EC3 back again? Could we see? We nearly got Adam Sheeran. There was loads of guys. Even guys from who've gone to AEW. We thought were going to come to Impact Wrestling. It was that the Forbidden Door was built that much hype. It was like everyone was ready to jump into Impact Wrestling, but decided to go somewhere else. So. A lot of people were critical over Omega as champion. Honestly, I had no problem with it at all. I thought it did its job. It wrote off Don Callis perfectly, like they needed to. And Omega had some amazing matches against Moose, Rich Swann, Sami Callihan. It was incredible. He was a decent world champion. It's just people just didn't like him because he was on AEW, which was really the whole point. Was not to like him. So he did his job really well, and his matches on Impact Wrestling were a lot better than the matches he was putting on at AEW at the time as well.
Yeah, I have to say, I have to say that Kenny turning up was a big deal, and I think people need to sort of kind of, I understood why people were sort of like, not overly happy about it. He wasn't signed. He's carrying the Impact World title. That was the point. Yeah. To get that kind of heat. He brought eyes to the product. There is no doubt about that. He brought eyes to the product. We had our biggest buys for Slammiversary. When Kenny was there, we had our biggest buys for Hard to Kill because Kenny was there. You have to, take your hat off to Kenny for all of this stuff, because at the end of the day, people started watching because of this.
Turn that frown upside down, my man.
And there you go. I mean, we've got next Bike One. He's just stated in the chat, watch Impact. So getting to know Kenny Omega was great. Glad I got that opportunity. Well, if you're only an Impact, if you only generally watch Impact, it's a bit like me. I catch other things, but in highlights. I don't watch religiously any other show other than Impact. So that's where I am. I just catch highlights of other shows. And so, I've seen Kenny in New Japan. I've seen Kenny in AEW. But I must admit, his matches at Impact Wrestling were fantastic. Why? Because he's got fantastic wrestlers to work with. Sami Callihan, fantastic wrestler. Rich Swann, fantastic wrestler.
And they're all different styles as well. The one thing I find about AEW is a lot of their wrestlers are all cut from the same mold.
Yeah, they're all very samey. Yeah, without doubt. I agree with that, and I do find it can be a little bit vanilla at times. But like I said, I watch the highlights. I enjoy it. I'm not going to say that it's a terrible show. I just my show is Impact Wrestling. That's the one that I want to watch every single week. That's the time I give up. I get up at 1:30 in the morning to watch it every week. Obviously because I'm in the UK, so to watch it as it sort of kind of airs roughly in the US, that's what I've got to do. And I love it. Hopefully in the future they'll get a UK TV deal again. Only time will tell on all of these sort of things, But in the meantime, I can watch it on YouTube, ad-free, in high definition every single week. So I don't have an issue. It's all good. And again, if I want to watch it on my TV, I just got to bring up the YouTube app and I can watch it on my TV. Simple as that. But anyway, the other thing I wanted to say was, that's like the AEW side of things. I think the real forbidden door for us has been New Japan Pro Wrestling. Yeah. Like the introduction of, I'll tell you, I forgot to mention AEW Kaz. Kaz came on as well, which was great. We've had El Fantasma, we've had Jay White, we've currently got Hikuleo on the show. We've had the Fin Juice turn up as well. The collaboration with New Japan, the fact that, we've had several Impact wrestlers on New Japan Strong.
That's the big one,
again,
isn't it, New Japan?
Exactly. It's we're getting a proper collaborations, and we see New Japan and Impact supporting each other via the social medias every single week, sometimes on a daily basis leading up to a big show. To me, that's the big one. And then, of course, more recently, with Mickey James coming, obviously back to Impact Wrestling, we've started to build those bridges with NWA as well. More recently, seeing the Impact Knockouts title being defended against Kira Hogan, funny enough, which is a weird one, on NWA Power. Or was it Power, or was it one of their pay-per-views? I can't remember now, but it was definitely on there. Oh, Anna, you're right. Violet, you're right. Rocky Romero turns up as well. Another guy from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Fantastic. For me, El Fantasmo is just awesome. Jay White was pretty awesome. So there's some pretty cool guys that have turned up.
Kojima as well.
Suzuki and Kojima, yeah, there you go. Two more.
Thank you.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on this Forbidden Door, Steve?
I think it's very interesting because, like you said, the big one is with New Japan. I think that we had the relationship there back from when Don Callis came over, and then it was strengthened when the Good Brothers came in. I think that is the big one, and the fact that they have had that grudge ever since Okada, the fact that has been really fixed now, shows how well that they have done to kind of smooth that bridge over. Like Joe said, with the Matt Hardy coming in, it just shows like a bridge over troubled water can be fixed.
Yeah.
And then the fact and NWA also the same thing, shows that they've kind of parted their troubles as well. Those two seem to be the big ones. We've had a little bit here and there from AAA, but it seems like it's the same thing with AEW. One thing I will say,
with regards to AAA, what we have, go on.
I was going to say, one thing I will say is that we were going back to marketing, and everyone sort of goes, "Oh, AEW created it all," but what they did do is they marketed, or they created the whole Forbidden Door word, so everyone thinks that AEW created it. Whereas if Impact would have created the Forbidden Door word, everyone would have said, "Right, it's Impact."
Wise words.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that totally, and I think that exactly. And I think what is interesting for me is that, like you say, everyone thinks that, it's all about Tony. He's the Forbidden Door. I think Scott D'Amore's the Forbidden Door.
Tony's an arsehole.
Yeah, they sadly didn't come up with
all of the New Japan. No, but the bottom line of this is all of the New Japan Pro Wrestling stuff was probably sorted out like 2 years ago, when we know that Scott and Don were over talking to the executives over there, and all this stuff has sort of kind of been in the pipeline. They've probably then gone and spoken to AEW. They've gone and spoken to Tony, said, look, New Japan's in on this. They were already had a great partnership with AAA. And again, the partnership with AAA, other than, I guess you could say, Diana winning the Reigns championship.
We've
very
got
much kind of
back to it, haven't we?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, there's not really a story there.
No.
It's just they've come and they're wrestling for Impact Wrestling. You know what I mean? It's not. There's no crossover stuff, no cross promotional stuff going on at the moment. However, that could change. They've only got to, literally start advertising a show in Mexico, and all of a sudden you could start getting some storylines being built, over, say a month or something leading up to that, which could be interesting. But I think it's been absolutely fantastic for Impact Wrestling. It's been fantastic for New Japan, especially with the American brand that they're trying to push, the New Japan Strong. It gives them extra US talents to come in and perform, at their shows, which is good. It's exciting, isn't it? It's very, very, very exciting stuff going on at the moment. Now, moving on, number 5, I've got here all 4 Impact pay-per-views were great this year. Plus, we obviously had the Impact Plus specials, including Knockouts, Knockdown, Turning Point, Homecoming, which was outstanding. Most recently, Throwback Throwdown. I thought Turning Point was incredible. Throwback Throwdown was pretty amazing. So, we've got some incredible stuff in there. And of course, let's not forget how important Knockouts Knockdown was for the female division, for the female wrestlers that got involved in that. Unfortunately, with the death of Daphne, they sort of kind of like turned it a little bit into, a tribute show as well for her. It sort of came at the right. I don't want to say the right time, but it came at the time when that was all sort of kind of going on. It was very sad, and there was lots of lovely tributes to Daphne on the show, which was wonderful, wonderful to see. And of course, Mickie James is involved in that as well. We saw Chelsea Green, we saw Mercedes Martinez turn up. There was just so much stuff going on at Knockouts Knockdown. It was an absolutely fantastic tribute, to the Knockouts roster. Of course, we also saw the signing of Masha Slamovich also at that show, which was absolutely superb. Really, really happy with Knockouts Knockdown. What about you guys? What are your thoughts on the pay-per-views and the Impact Plus specials?
All the pay-per-views were first class, top-notch pay-per-views. Knockouts, Knockdown, and Turning Point, put them together, but they outdid Bound for Glory and Slammiversary in a lot of ways, especially Turning Point. With it being, like Steve said, with it being live and no spoilers being revealed for like the first time in over 2 years for an Impact Plus special. It was great to see, and the live atmosphere really did escalate more, and it felt like it escalated more at Turning Point than it did at Bound for Glory or it did at Slammiversary. And Knockouts and Knockdown, it was a fantastic way to remind everyone that this is where the women's revolution of wrestling started, regardless of what you want to say. Shots fired, and I just the pay-per-views are solid from start to finish, all of them. It's so hard to find any faults with any of them, and I've managed to watch Throwback Throwdown last night. It was really entertaining as well. There was so much originality and so much creativity in that. It was just really it was so funny. It was really hard to keep track of everything, but I did enjoy it. But Turning Point was just probably the best live event of the entire year.
I totally agree with you there. Now, interestingly enough, Mir, I'm going to go with this one. Mira's asking us, what is our favorite sound bites of the year, boys? So let's have a think and see if we can pop a few up in a second. I've just popped some in the chat for Steve in our private chat on there. Let us, yeah. So don't forget, you're more than welcome also to let us know what your favorite sound bites are.
Yeah,
if we can play them, we will,
and we'll pop them up
if we can. Now, interesting, Keith. You're talking about, do you think we'll see a KO, a knockouts only show in 2022? I've been championing this now for well over 6 months. Do I think it's going to happen? I just have this feeling it's going to happen.
I think it will, but I do think there's still a lot of parts that they need to put in place.
Well, they've got to build it, haven't they? You've got to build a decent sized roster to be able to pull it off.
You don't want to rush it together and then it fall apart within a week, kind of thing, do you?
Exactly. But what I think is over the past several months, they've been bringing in more and more quality knockouts, and it's getting more and more likely it's going to happen, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think it is looking like that. Yeah,
definitely. Right, okay, so that was a quick answer for you there. What about you, Joe? I mean, sorry, what about you, Steve, when it comes to the pay-per-views?
The pay-per-views for me have all been fantastic. I'm still torn. I think Rebellion for me just edged it. I'm torn between Rebellion and Hard to Kill, but I think Rebellion just edged it out of the 4. But like Joe said, for me, I thoroughly enjoyed Knockouts, Knockdown, and Turning Point. I thought both were, from top to bottom, were absolutely fantastic cards. Yeah, and I think for all of them you could go back and watch them, and you're paying like about sort of a quid for each of them when you delve down into each of them, aren't you? About four quid here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's, what more can you ask for? You're getting pay-per-view quality specials, 3-hour specials every month. For literally like just several just a couple of pounds. It's not massive, and it's well worth it. When you consider a pay-per-view is like $20. And you're getting these shows every single month, and they're quality. They are quality.
Yeah, I mean, say they're all fantastic, and I mean, by the end of it, you're
baby.
You're exactly that by the end of it. Damn right. Okay, so that pretty much covers all of that. Then we've got the number 6 on my list here. I've got the return of Wrestle House as a holiday special. Now, obviously last year on Wrestle House 1, it was sort of kind of like snippets through several weeks. Then they sort of kind of like put all those snippets together and put it on the Impact Plus app for everyone to watch in one go, which went down really, really well. Now, the fact that they decided to put this on the Thanksgiving episode, I think was really the right thing to do. It really was. I think it was the right thing to do because at the end of the day, for us fans who love this slapstick kind of comedy stuff and the fun, again, highlights for me, people like Black Taurus, reading the book and sat there being all cool and, and all that kind of stuff. Chris Sabin loving the matches. There's so many, steamy Chris Sabin. So many cool things came out of Wrestle House. Johnny Swinger getting married to Swingerella number 2 or whatever it was. Fantastic. A lot of slapstick, a lot of fun, a lot of cool sound bites came out of that show. What were I know that you're a massive fan of the show. J-Bone come out for some reason. I've got no idea what happened there. But what are your thoughts on the show, Joe? Because I know you loved it.
I was in giggle fit from end to end on Wrestle when Wrestle House came about. I thought the first one, it got me through physiotherapy last year. So it was like a huge momentum boost there, and then to see them bring it back into a full show, I thought like you said, it was the smarter thing to do, given the fit when they put it all together as a long playlist on YouTube and on the Impact Plus app, it shot through the roof. So to make it into an hour and a half episode of Impact Wrestling, just to take all the gloom away from 2021, it was perfect. It was just so funny. And it's just a great way to break away from all the misery around you. And it was really just what everyone wanted and needed at that time.
Yeah. No, I agree with that as well. And I think it's one of the things that Impact do really, really well is the comedic side of wrestling. They don't take, they do take it seriously, but they also have this sort of kind of like side where they don't take it too seriously, if you know what I mean. So what about you, Steve? What
if you have small children, please ask them to leave the room right now.
Okay, Steve, what were your thoughts on Wrestle House?
I agree with you.
There's me thinking he'd be playing Wrestle House soundbites through the Wrestle House segment, but he's not. But there you go. Go on, son.
No, I agree with you that that you're going to have people split. That should they have aired it over multiple time, bits and pieces over multiple weeks, or should you have had it all on one day? And I agree with you. They should have just aired it on one day because you'd have had less people watching. And I think this was absolutely fantastic. I was a bit iffy to start with because I was like, can they air all of what they got previously just in 2 hours? And everything they got here was absolutely fantastic.
It was gold. It was gold.
It was absolutely brilliant. It really was. They got so much content from this, and I'd be intrigued to see where they go from here because Wrestle House 1 gave us 2 more segments, the wedding and then Swingers Palace. So let's see where Wrestle House 2 takes us.
Yeah, where's this gonna go? I mean, are we gonna get an intellectual Taurus, for instance? I mean, we know that we've got Lawrence D out of this, which is fantastic because Lawrence D is now. I'm sorry. My favorite soundbite probably is Hardcore Country. However, that is up there. I love that. That segment in Wrestle House, the first time when he sat there reading the book and everything, he just goes, and the carries on reading the book, was amazing. And then when they did that section, oh my God, I was just absolutely in stitches.
This proves that elderly abuse in this country is at an all-time high, but it looks like so much fun.
Exactly. Look at the commentary team that we got for the matches. How cool was that? There was just so much fun stuff. There was just so much fun stuff going on in Wrestle House. Like you say, steamy Chris Sabin came out with that. So many things came out of Wrestle House. Absolutely fantastic. And you're right. I mean, Violet, could we see the return of Swingers Palace now that they've left Sam's Town? You just don't know. Maybe we will see the return of it.
If they do, there is something I hope that they do with it that I'm sure we'll get to later.
Yes, exactly. So I think Wrestle House 2 for me is a big success, and I know, like you said, there's a lot of people out there who all these that are too serious for doing all the comedy stuff. But there's a place for it in wrestling, and it's Impact Wrestling. If you love it, if you like that stuff, if you don't want to take yourself too seriously, then go and watch stuff like Wrestle House. It's funny. Nobody else is doing this kind of content within wrestling. It's a niche. It's something that they're doing, and they're doing it really, really well. It's definitely worth checking it out, I think.
They left it open for it.
I think they did. Yeah, I think they did.
Yeah, they did.
Now, 7 on my list is basically the signing of these talents. So we've got Steve Macklin, we've got Mike Speedball Bailey, we have John Schuyler, Matt Cardona, Lady Frost most recently, Masha Slamovich ended up being signed Knockdown, and of course the return of Mickey James. And we also get the debut of the Inspiration at Bound for Glory. Now, what are your thoughts on all of this, guys? Did I miss anyone out? I don't think I did.
Just one more that's just come up to my
Chelsea Green.
Yeah, and I just then thought it did Savannah Evans as well.
Oh,
yes,
Savannah Evans.
Yes, she did. Yes, Savannah Evans.
There we go.
Was incoming too. She came in when Fire and Flavor, but she split them apart. She's the one that did the Samoa drop to Kiera Hogan, and everyone blew up because they thought that is that her finishing move. Oh Christ!
So hang on a minute. When did Rachel Ellering turn up? I think Rachel Ellering's a new one as well.
No, she was in last year, but she really started to get more use this year, especially with Tommy Dreamer with the Homecoming.
Again, somebody's just mentioned Zicky Dice, and of course, the legend that is VSK. I know that he's one of Ringside Bill's one of Ringside Bill's top talents to come to Impact Wrestling. So yeah, there's lots of them. And of course, we've got W Morrissey as well. But again, it's like I was saying, I'm not sure whether W Morrissey signed, but maybe he is, because like you said, he's the main event in it, Hard to Kill. So there you go, Sting. I think you're right. Yeah, Rachel showed up just before Rebellion. So Rachel Ellering's another one. So you think about the amount, yes, we've lost a couple. We've lost a Kiera Hogan and we've lost a couple of talents along the way, but we've gained way more than we've lost.
Yeah. And it may not lead to nothing, but Gia wrestled at Throwback Throwdown, so maybe she'll be getting in the ring.
Yeah. Of course, we also got the return of Taylor Wilde as well. So, and James Storm turned up.
ODB.
And Alex Shelley, ODB. We've had so many talents turn up. And, I was just trying to think of the ones that are still there, but obviously we've had some come in and some go as well. So it was great to see James Storm. It was great to see Alex Shelley turn up, and we get the Motor City Machine Guns for a little bit. All these people, and of course the incredible VSK. I know William absolutely loves VSK, so it's great that he's turned up. I think Bill loves VSK about as much as I love Tennille Dashwood. Hang on a minute. Anyway, and of course we've got Jonah turn up.
I'm gonna have to get it
as well. But again, Jonah.
No, if you can get Tennille Dashwood meeting the influence, that'd be hilarious, Steve.
Yes, that would be good. That's the one that you want. But of course, I did mention Mickie James, and I was hoping that as I mentioned Mickie James, that we might have actually got my favourite soundbite of the year turn up. But no, we didn't.
Country.
Da 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 da. Yeah, love it. So there you go, my favourite soundbite. There it was. But yeah, so it's been a fantastic year for talent, appearing on Impact Wrestling, talent signing with Impact Wrestling. Just been a great year. When you look back and you think about the amount of talents that we've seen, is Mercedes Martinez signed? I don't think she is. But again,
I'm not sure if she's
another.
So long as they're on the roster, they're kind of. They'll be around for the foreseeable future, aren't they?
They'll be around for a little while. I mean, can we include Laredo Kid in that then?
Yeah, definitely.
I guess we can. Laredo Kid's there as well then. But, we've got some fantastic talent that have appeared for Impact Wrestling over the past 12 months. Just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now, something else I want to talk about is Decay adding Black Tauros, who again I've just already stated like one of my favorite characters to arrive on Impact Wrestling recently. I just love him, and seeing how popular this faction has become, especially once the live crowds arrived, you suddenly realize how big Decay are, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. When they bought Black Tauros in, I was really, really impressed to see that they could find someone as big as Abyss to step up and try and fill that spot. And Black Tauros has just been incredible since day one. And as Decay has progressed, and they managed to eventually get Havoc to join, which was really quite surprising. Part of me was expecting Rosemary and Havoc to just go off and fight it out with each other for a while longer. To get Havoc to finally come in, to get Havoc to turn face, that was a really, really smart move too. So it keeps Havoc from being lost as well. But when the crowd got back, like you said, you forgot just how popular Decay was and just how popular Rosemary and Crazy Steve are on their own. You throw Havoc and Black Taurus in, and everyone just went mad. And it's just the response Rosemary and Crazy Steve got with them sort of after Summerversary, they gave back to the audience about the appreciation for the live audience. It was really, really nice to read that their response to it. They were just blown away. They forgot how popular they were. Basically.
I am the greatest.
There is no doubt in that, Deanna. There is no doubt in that. But it's kind of you're right, Joe. I think that you almost forget how popular some of these talents are, how over they are with the crowd. I've been championing the return of Crazy Steve like 12 months prior to him actually turning back up again, which was fantastic. We needed Decay back. We needed Decay. That's the best thing that Mr. Corgan did for TNA, as far as I was concerned, was be a part of the creative process of Decay. But I just think Black Taurus, like you say, Havoc coming in and get involved in that was just absolutely amazing. But I don't know. What about you, Steve? I mean, we know Joe is a big fan of the Decay and Rosemary. What about yourself?
Yeah, I was always a massive fan of the Decay. And yeah, they were this faction that you always gravitated to because they were different. There was nothing else like them. That's why you found yourself drawn to them, and they still are. I found their booking to be a bit strange, but outside their booking, they're always over, and you can't deny their popularity.
That's the thing. It's their popularity. You can get away with doing some, odd booking. They could even get away with them losing every week, but because they're just so over, it doesn't matter. And to be fair, they don't lose all the time. I mean, that's that. That I'm exaggerating a little bit there, but but they can lose and still be over. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You don't hurt them by having the odd loss here and there.
No.
And
but it just feels like the Taurus and Steve are never anywhere near the titles. That's kind of the strange thing.
And do you know what? The perfect spot for them would be as tag champs.
Yeah,
it really would.
Yeah, but it's never ever really looked like they've gone to anywhere near the titles. That's the weird thing. I think Taurus is at a spot where he's gone towards the X title. Steve had a shot at the DMC title, but yeah, beyond that, they've kind of just meandered here and there.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Violet's just brought up an interesting how it's interesting how talent in different locations are over. Like W. Morrissey, for instance, is well over in Nashville, and Bay is massive in Las Vegas. Well, I guess that's because those are the particular areas that they came through. I know that Chris Bay was absolutely huge in Las Vegas before obviously signing with Impact. That was his main area. That's where he lives. So that was his main area. So again, I would, maybe I'm assuming too much. Morrissey is from around that area, I believe. So in sort of Nashville way. So, maybe he's over because he's a local boy. I'm not sure.
It's always weird when you see heels getting cheered. And that was what sort of jarred me a bit when you're watching like the Throwback Throwdown. Everyone was playing the opposite of what they normally are. You're like, ooh, hello. So-and-so is playing the face now.
Yeah. That's interesting because that's the trouble though. You're not, they are a completely different character, a different name, a completely different character, which is interesting. Now, true. I mean, I remember Johnny Bravo was on John Capital E Bravo, was always talked about the 5-year plan of Impact. 2022 was supposed to be the big year, wasn't it? So it'd be interesting to see, is there going to be huge plans for Impact in 2022? Or has it now possibly been put back a year because of what's been going on? You just don't know. Do you?
Cocktail hour, brother.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Joe. What were you saying, mate? Before you were rudely interrupted by Don the Wanker Callis.
No, it's all pandemic depending now, really, because nobody foresaw the whole pandemic coming in and lasting as long as it has, and it's probably going to still be around from 2022 to 2023, probably at least until something stabilizes somewhere. But I don't see 2022 knocking Impact Wrestling back as much as people expect it to. So if something big is going to happen next year, it's just not going to be as big as everyone would hope it would be. But I think this 5-year plan is still on track. It might be go to 5 to 6 years, 5 to 7 years, but it'll still be they're still going to get their plan done one way or another. Let's face it, it's hard to kill for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, what I think what the pandemic has done is it allowed them, because they haven't had to move locations, they haven't been doing any of that kind of stuff when they were in Nashville. It's allowed them to work on other aspects of Impact as a business. Like you've seen the emergence of the merchandise now. There's loads of T-shirts available. You've got the micro brawlers. You've got them selling off, auctioning off bits of ring and all sorts of stuff like that now. Signed hardcore, equipment that's been used, all these kind of things. I think they've been able to work on other aspects of the business to bring in revenue, and they needed to, because if they hadn't done all of that stuff, they'd probably be struggling right now financially, because they've not been getting any revenue from ticket sales or anything like that. If anything, it's been costing them a fortune to continue running the way they have. So I'm absolutely over the moon to see that, that they're now really starting. So, like, people say, "Oh, Impact are not putting the money in." Well, of course they are. They just literally ran an entire year with no ticket sales. Like, they've also signed a load of, like, the Good Brothers. That was during the pandemic. Eric Young coming in was during the pandemic. Heath. Who else was it? Heath, Matt Cardona. These people, Brian Myers, they've all come in during the pandemic. You can't tell me they're not speculating to accumulate, right? They are. It's just being spent in different areas. And you have to understand that, like you say, the cost of running shows without selling any tickets, that's crazy as well. That's a serious blow to any promotion, any wrestling promotion, not having that kind of revenue coming in. You've got to take your hat off to them. They kept it going strong, and no disrespect to Ring of Honor, but it's killed them. This whole pandemic situation has killed them. Sinclair are saying, look, we're hemorrhaging money. We're not going to put any more money into this. Hopefully they'll come back in April and they'll start moving forward again, start rebuilding, which is, I think that's the plan. But, that's kind of it. It's a difficult situation. Impact have managed to keep it going, and they're now pushing forward. You've got to respect that. They're hard to kill, baby. Okay, so then we move on, and we've had the emergence of Violent by Design. One of my favorite factions to be, to emerge in Impact Wrestling in the past, couple of years, past 10 years probably, other than Decay. I have to say that, Violent by Design are the most interesting faction we've had in a long time. Do you know who we missed? Joe Doring. When did Joe Doring come in?
He came in last year with Eric Young, because he took out Ethan Rhino. Yeah.
So look how far Violent by Design has come. In that past 12 months. Been amazing. Absolutely amazing. The promos have been good. Eric Young has been amazing. He gets injured, but it doesn't stop Eric Young, does it? It doesn't stop Violent by Design. And now look at them. They're stronger than ever. What are your thoughts on VBD, Steve?
Oh, I think they're fantastic. Like you said, besides Decay, they are easily the best faction on Impact. I mean, even when you had the Bullet Club, the Elite on there, it was easily Violent by Design that were the most intimidating faction, the best faction, I felt. And like I say, I always feel like there's something more coming from Violent by Design. Maybe there's more to come from Big Joe.
Who knows? Wow, the stars are coming out. for this final show of 2021. Hi, Joe. How are you?
Was that Sammy?
Good. BBD. Coming for you, Bison.
It's okay, Big Joe. Calm down. Calm down. Here we go. Calm it down. Calm it down. The stars are coming out. The stars are coming out. Big Joe's here to tell us all about it being by design. Everything is by design.
Tag gold. Coming back.
Coming
by
back,
design.
BBD. By design, baby. Fantastic to have you on the show, Joe.
Still undefeated. Never pinned.
Never pinned. I'm interested to know what you do during the holiday season, though, Big Joe. What do you and your family get up to? Oh, because obviously, whatever you do would be by design, right?
Of course. Big meats. Big everything. Big
Lots
tree.
of meat. Big baubles.
If it's big, it's for Big Joe.
Joe, it's amazing to have you on the show, buddy. It really is. Thanks for joining us today. It's been a
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, my friend. Happy holidays. Can we do a Big Joe snarl? Can everyone try a Big Joe snarl? Anyone? That's it, Steve. Steve's got that down to a T. That is fantastic. You've got to come close to the screen, though, mate, so we can really see it. That's it, look. Yeah.
Pretty good, lads.
Yeah. When I do a Big Joe voice, though, I sound a bit like a pirate. I don't know why.
Pirates sound like Big Joe.
Big Joe. Yeah, shiver me timbers. Thanks for joining us, Joe. We really appreciate it, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Take care, mate. Take care. Well, there you go. How cool was that? I'll tell you this. I told you the stars are coming out tonight. Not only did we have Jake Chris at the top of the show, we had Sharkbone join us. And of course, Big Joe Jordan has just appeared as well.
All Impact legends.
All Impact legends. And I'll tell you what, and like Joe just said, his Christmases is just full of big stuff. Big trees, big presents, big baubles, big meat. Everything big. Yeah, we like it. We love Big Joe. He's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So, anyway, so I think we could safely say we love a bit of Violent by Design, don't we, boys?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they've been fantastic.
Yeah.
Now,
I agree with what Joe said. It would be great to see them hold tag team gold again next year.
It would.
Definitely.
Yeah, it would. And who knows? Who knows? And that could happen at Rebellion. Who knows? We could be looking at that for Rebellion.
It'd be a shame it's not at Hard to Kill, but you never know. They might do it. You don't know.
Well, just imagine if VBD lose with the Good Brothers at Hard to Kill. That could piss off VBD. You end up with a feud between VBD and the Good Brothers. At the same time, you've got, say, Willie Mack and Rich Swann getting a title match against the Good Brothers. Maybe they end up costing them the titles or something. I don't know. There's loads of way these stories could go. One thing I do know is they're setting something up.
I can see Eddie getting the pin.
Getting the pin or taking the pin?
Getting the pin, and then it'll be throws a whole spanner in the works. Like the only singles wrestler gets the pin.
Yeah, but then who knows? Maybe that'd be the return of his tag partner.
Yeah,
who knows?
That'd be great.
The Wolves in 2022 would be bloody awesome. Would be awesome.
Imagine if that's the 4-year plan.
What, to get Eddie and Sammy together? It took 5 years to make it.
Eddie and Davey.
Oh yeah, that would be so good. That would be so good. I'd love to see that happen. But yeah, so now for me, probably the biggest moment of 2021 was at BFG when Josh Alexander finally gets his win. We get the feel good moment. We get Jade in the ring. We get Jet. Sorry, it wasn't Jet, was it? It was his other son in the ring. Can't remember his other son's name. That's terrible. But we get them come in the ring. It's a real good feel good moment. Josh is holding the title up, and who turns up to claim his shot? But Moose. Josh just trying to protect his family ends up taking the pin. Moose, big shock, finally becoming the Impact World Champion. Now, we've been calling for it for a long time, but I'm pretty sure nobody expected it to come that way. What were your thoughts, Steve, on this? What were your thoughts?
There was a small part of me where when he won it, I was like, could it happen? But I never expected it to. Because when they done the battle royale, I fully expected Cardona to win it because I thought, well, there's an easy person for Josh to then win. So when Moose won it, I was like, they can't drag this out forever. So yeah, there was a little part of me where I thought he could do it, but yeah, when it felt like a story that had been dragged out forever.
Yeah,
but it felt like the payoff was beautiful. Originally, I was like, I hated it because I thought, oh God, they've just ruined Josh here. But then watching it a second time, it all clicked into place. I was like, I understand what they're lining up now, and it makes perfect sense. You had to go back and watch it a second time to really pay attention to what they were lining up.
To move on, like we got with Jonah turning up and all that kind of stuff.
You built your next top level heel and your next top level baby face there.
Absolutely superb. Yeah, I mean, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. And can I just say, Violet, you're right. Heath and Rhino tag title run would be pretty cool. But Joe, what were your thoughts on Moose and his cash in at BFG?
My pick to do it was Ace Austin, but he got eliminated earlier in the. So when Moose did it, I was like, someone's took my idea and gave it to Moose. So I was really pissed off that it wasn't Ace Austin, but Moose or Matt Cardona. Out of them two, it would have been really hard to choose who was the right person to go ahead and do it. So you have to think long term. And Moose has been with the company for nearly 6 years. And he's the last world title match he had was against either Alberto El Patron or Bobby Lashley.
Kenny Omega
earlier that year, weren't it?
Oh yes. Oh god, we're talking about how good Kenny Omega is. I'd bloody forget that much. But even then, Moose he hadn't had a big push for a world title scene until he made himself the TNA World Champion and got involved in all this. For a very long time, Moose was. Everyone thought Moose was a lot lost and just a lost cause. So as he started to turn heel and really, really built up his heel character from Money Moose to where it is now, getting really, really nastier and nastier and nastier as the years have gone by. He caused the biggest upset of the year, without a doubt. When he cashed in and pinned Josh Alexander, it was a huge shock. Part of me was hoping Josh would kick out, but then that would ruin the whole momentum that they just built up for Moose in that moment. So it was the right move to do, and because it would piss you off or it would shock you, or you just enjoyed it. It did its job. It was just really, really smart booking, and really a big thank you to Moose for everything he's done.
It's kind of like a case with Moose. Like, he could look at the company and say, right, you've screwed me over so many times, I'm now going to screw you over and take the belt off of your world champion.
Yeah.
Wow. There you go. Something along those sort of lines. You never know. But what's interesting about all of this, though, is that, I mean, I interviewed Moose earlier this year, which was a big thing for me. I really enjoyed that interview. It was when I sort of kind of like thanked him for re-signing with the company, and he sort of literally went, where did you hear that? Like, and I'm like, Moose, you said it on somebody else's podcast. I was like, again, I enjoyed doing the interview, and I was lucky enough to do that. And then, of course, a few months later, he's world champion. That's a big thing for me. That's a big highlight for me for the year as well. As well as the Morrissey interview. I think it was an amazing thing. I love the way that they did it. I thought it was one of those holy fuck moments that you very rarely get these days. Because of spoilers and different things like there's always somebody out there that knows something. It's got some information from someone about what's going to happen.
But someone's got to whinge so much about it just ruins the moment.
Exactly. Yeah.
And this was one of those things where I think a lot of people afterwards were like, "Oh God," and I myself was like, "Oh my God," but I didn't like it to begin with. But it's that second time you watch it, you like it.
The bottom line is, it was a holy fuck moment. You don't get them very often, right? And then you end up with mixed emotions. And Impact pulled it off, and they pulled it off with Moose beautifully. His promo, the following, Impact was out of this world. In-ring promo, the best one that he's done for a long time. Mir's obviously just mentioned that as well. Where he's talking about all the different champions, etc., all the different companies. He is the god. He is the wrestling god. He's the best world champion there is. End of. And that's exactly what you want from your champion. At the end of the day, your world champion has to believe that the world champion that he's holding is the one. It was, just amazing. Just amazing. I'm fully invested in Moose as the world champion right now. They're proper healing him up. They're properly turning him into the bad guy, of Impact Wrestling, which is what a great champion always is. A great champion is always a heel. And I think he's doing a fantastic job. And I cannot wait to see where he goes in 2022. That's for sure. Now, that was our main top 10 moments from TNI UK team for 2021. However, this was very, very difficult to dwindle down to 10. So we have got some special mentions here. So I just want to reel a few off. If anyone's got anything to say, then we can sort of kind of like throw that in. So a few special mentions go to Eddie versus Sammy, Barbed Wire Massacre 4. We've got the arrival of W. Morrissey and his run to date, which is pretty damn good. Any Deonna Purrazzo match. Name one, it was badass. Heath's return at BFG. That was fantastic moment. Kimberly, Brandy Loren becoming the Undead Bridesmaids. That was genius. I'm expecting big things to come with them from those guys in 2022. Hopefully later in 2022, we'll see Sue Young return as well. You then got Chris Sabin's run, right? Every match has been 4 or 5 star matches. Doesn't matter who. And his character is driven as well. Yeah, his character has been great. Everything about Chris Sabin's run in 2021 has been fucking awesome. Fantastic. Trey Miguel becoming X Division champion. Finally. Plus an awesome match against Sami Callihan at Rebellion as well. What are your thoughts on some of those special mentions, lads?
W. Morrissey is definitely one that kudos has to go to. He's been an absolute juggernaut. And like Matt Cardona, he's one of these guys that's coming from somewhere where everyone thought he's going to do shit outside of WWE, or just they thought he couldn't hold his own, and he's proven everybody wrong. Look at what Matt Cardona and Morrissey are now main eventing Hard to Kill. If anyone would have told me that this is going to be happening at the start of the year, I probably would have said not by the start of the next year. I would have said it probably might have happened Summerversary. Give it to Summerversary, and then we'll see if it happens. I wouldn't have thought it would happen so soon, and it's worked out brilliantly for both of them. Ace Austin's another guy that I've been really impressed with all year as well since he came back into the X Division. The only sad thing about that is it's not paid off well for Madman Fulton, so it's give one and take from another with Ace Austin. But I've been really impressed with how he's been booked this year and all the matches and stuff he's done, and I've got high hopes for him next year as well.
Yeah, I think 2022 will be the year of Ace Austin. I have to admit, Josh Alexander, Ace Austin. It would be nice to see Fulton have a decent run. I mean, he's got better and better over the last few years. His in-ring work has definitely improved. I'd like to see, I'd like to see them do something with Jake something. I have a feeling he's going to be the next digital media champion. Taking that forward, the emergence of Jordan Grace, Rachel Ellering as a team, has been fantastic, and watching their friendship grow, not only on screen but also on social medias outside of Impact Wrestling. Rachel is obviously a big support for Jordan when it comes to parenting and everything else that she's involved with. Again, lovely to see. Again, the emergence of Havoc and Rosemary as tag team champs for a proportion of this year as well was pretty awesome to see. And the emergence of Tasha Steele as a solo competitor since obviously Kira Hogan moved on. That's been impressive to see. Special mention Sasha versus Martina Martinez. And again, I want to say special mention for Rachel Ellering versus Martinez as well at Knockouts Knockdown. So there's so many really cool things that have happened in 2021. When we look back at it, we could have probably put together a top 20, even a top 30, but we'd be here all night. But I hope you guys agree with some of the cool moments that we've talked about tonight, and of course have enjoyed the show as much as we've enjoyed talking about all this stuff as well. It's been great, and it's been great sharing the moments with you guys as well. Can I just say, please don't forget to head over to the TNI Patreon for exclusive extra content when you sign up, and also make sure that you watch. Well, I was going to say make sure you watch tomorrow night's flagship show, but of course it isn't on, is it? There isn't a show tomorrow. So this actually is officially, I think, the last TNI show of 2021, guys. So all this sort of, we just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Also, don't forget that the TNI shows are available for all of you listening on the Go fans as audio only via SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to your favorite shows. We're all available. Now, I don't know. Have you got anything to add, boys, before we start to close down the show?
Just big shout out to everyone who's been tuning in all year. Big shout out to guys like Hakeem, to Lakers, to Violet, to Courtney, to Mia, to everyone who's been in the chat, keeping them spreading the word and interacting with everyone. Thank you to all you guys, and happy Christmas and happy Hanukkah. There you go.
So there you go. Agree with that. Like I say, without you sort of joining us, then we wouldn't be making the videos. So happy Christmas, happy Hanukkah to everyone out there and everyone's watching us. So we'll see you all in the new year.
Fantastic. Okay, so Joe, where can we find you on the socials, buddy? If anybody wants to find Joe.
Okay, you can see if I can get it right this week. We can. Here we go. Steve, you might as well.
I'll tell you what, let's go to Steve. Okay. Where can we find you on the socials?
Are you there, Joe? No.
No, you're going to do it, Joe, or not?
You can find me over at Simply Steve 311 over on Twitter for everything Impact Wrestling related. Or you can find me over at WrestleBuddy.com under the Impact Wrestling banner. For a new article, normally every Thursday. However, this week and next week, I'll be slacking a bit. So, we're having Christmas off.
Fair enough. Now, Joe, have you composed yourself from the void?
I've composed myself as much as I can. You can jump onto Twitter and follow me there at Joe-ker Empty Space, or if you fancy a daily giggle, look for hashtag Empty Space, hashtag The Void, or hashtag Daily Giggle on Facebook, and jump onto there to check out my profile. But if you do go there, enter with an open mind, and you just might keep your sanity.
There you go, fantastic. And of course, There you go. Boomer Bison's with me. And of course, if you're interested in finding out a little bit more about Lord Bison himself, you can find me on Twitter at Lord Bison45. I do a little bit on the old Facebook, so, you may come across me. I bet if you put in Bison, you'll probably find me somewhere. But guys, please take the time to help us out moving up the rankings on YouTube by giving us a thumbs up. And if you're new to us, and you like what you hear, don't forget to hit the red subscribe button. And of course, give that bell a tickle, or maybe even a squeeze, or even a smash to never miss any of the great TNI UK US teams' great content each and every single week. Boomer Bison's here to say goodbye. There you go. Oh, guys, just before we go, don't forget, if you want to support TNI, you can obviously give us a super sticker. You're more than welcome to do that on YouTube. However, if you want to support us, head over to our Spreadshirt store. The information's down in the stuff below. We've also obviously got our prowrestlingtees.com/total nonstop impact. Go and check that out. There's some great new t-shirts on there, including a fantastic new Lord Bison pure beefalo shirt. Go and check that one out. That's really cool. And finally, a huge thank you to everyone that has joined us in the chat this year. And of course, to all who have joined us on the show. We appreciate each and every one of you and cannot wait to see what is in store in 2022. For us and of course, the incredibly dedicated TNI tribe. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year from us all at TNI UK. With all that said, I've been Bison. They've been Joe-ker, Simply Steve. This has been episode 62 of Impacted. Take care, everyone. See you in 2022.
Merry Christmas.
We're Bison! We are Impacted!